So I'll just kick off start this because of time. I hopefully that you're going to have more people joining us in a few. But I'll just first of all take this opportunity to invite all of us to be part of this meeting. Um, it's a journey that we started last year, and we've been having some quite good engagement here and there. So I just want to welcome all of us here. Brainstorming. I hope the message got on the climate ahead of also planning for the launch for EACCGN. We'll have quite a small engagement. The first 30 or 40 minutes of our time, we're going to take and do a reflection on what we are able to, who we're able to reach out and what we're able to achieve, on what we have named it as the progressive report on what we so far we have been able to do. So I quickly want to invite everyone. I can see David Coe is present. Isaiah Kilerai, who represents Catholic University of East Africa, is present. Coach Jude, who represents the University of Nairobi Environmental Club, is present. Mary Moneki, Faculty of Law, University of Nairobi, Precious. I can see you from Malawi. Washira, Karibu. And more are going to be joining us in a few. So I will be trying to share my slides in a few so that you can be able to see this. But let me also give Coach a chance, first of all, to invite all of you and say something, because it's all part of organizing committee for EACCGN. So Coach, could you kindly just say something before I set up my everything? Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys for being here. I think most of us have created time because Kaka, as you know, being a weekend and especially a Saturday, and college students, I think we need also to understand if maybe there's few people in the meeting. College students being a weekend, they're probably, most of them are probably out there having fun, going out, maybe. So that's why maybe we might be having low numbers. But I want to begin by really, really congratulating Kaka. Kaka has done so much for EACCGN. Kaka is giving it all his best. I've seen Kaka move all over. The many video calls we've had behind closed doors to try and bring representatives from all countries, trying to keep the social media presence, trying to talk to people. Kaka, I think if you continue with that, and if we can learn from Kaka, then East Africa campuses and colleges green network will grow up to be something bigger. It's good to see that we are having representation from East Africa in the group right here, and I'm loving it. I love that our numbers are increasing day in, day out. Just recently, I sent to Kaka a WhatsApp screenshot of a student from Rwanda who inboxed me, and he asked me, "Oh, I see you guys this stuff about EACCGN. Why don't you guys join us? Can you send us a link?" And I sent Kaka. Kaka sent me the link. We sent them to Rwanda, and they're joining us, and that's very good. I'm happy you guys are here, and let's learn from each other. Let's build. Let's make this work. Thank you, Kaka, for the opportunity. And I have so much I want to share with you people. And I hope, Kaka, you're going to give me time in the meeting so that I continue sharing what I have. I was just trying to introduce. Hello, did someone want to say something?
Welcome to EACCGN or Environmental CGK.
Irene, you can mute, probably, unless you... so I also want to... okay. So thank you, Coach, for that. Yeah, we are really trying to see how we can be able to make these things work. I don't know. We have David Core here, who is I'm pretty sure he has nearly met like nearly everyone here, because he's been having a lot of calls all through in different countries. Recently, he talked to Malawi students concerning the cyclone. Freddie, I hope you guys knew about all that. You had and saw the damages that the climate injustice happened in Malawi. So because of, I'm not sure how much time David has, because his weekend is a little bit tight. David, do you think you want to say maybe something, so that in case you'll be able to get a chance to go, at least you'll have sent something? Kindly just share with us. Yeah, and just say hello to us and say something, please.
Thank you, Kaka. And I just want to repeat, first of all, what Kwach mentioned. I think that the efforts you've all made is really remarkable, and kudos to all of you. And I think that credit really goes to everybody. It's good to remember that, because really you're students in an area where you feel the impacts most in your own personal families of the crazy weather that's going around. And what you demonstrate most also is the hope and the energy and the fervor to go forward and make a difference along in there. And that really is important along in that. Kaka and I, we've spoken a lot, and with other people along the way. We got into this because we want everybody to come together and realize that rather than just protesting and petitioning, we actually have real power by coming together. And this year we see as a very special year. What we want to be able to say is, this is the year that in the future, in the years to come, when our grandchildren's grandchildren learn in their history books about climate change, and they learn the bit that says, when did we actually stop climate change? We want to be able to say, when our grandchildren, we want them to be able to say, this year is the year that we stopped it. And what does it mean to stop it? It means that the people of the world got together and actually told the governments what to do, and told the businesses and everyone else. And what it needs most of all is for us to take control of oil, gas, and coal. Because without that, everything we do will be destabilized by it. But to do that, we need something which will bring everybody together. And for us, that's the things that give us joy. Whoever we may be, wherever we may be, those are the things that are most precious to us. They may be our family, they may be our work, they may be the nature that we adore, or they may even just be the money that we want to make. Whatever that is, all of that is destabilized and put at risk by the crazy weather that's going on around. And in this past week, we've seen so many of the pictures around in Africa of the crazy weather and the damages that they've done along with it. But the way we want to do this is with joy, not with anger, not by being depressed, not by saying we are the victims, but by demonstrating that we are able to create livelihoods so that we are able to help people with the things that give them joy. And when Kaka first talked to us about the colleges and campuses green network, it felt very much in tune with what he's talking and how he sees the thing. So we really hope that the EACCGN gets rapidly to become an example that campuses and colleges all around the world can see. They can see that young people can come together, and not as the way we would normally think of just protesting, but actually going out there into the communities and helping yourselves and them, to be able to build livelihoods in the face of everything that the crazy weather is throwing at us, so that we can be able to stand tall and say, with our own dignity in hand, we are in control and we are going to take over the oil, gas, and coal industries. And that's kind of the ambition we have. And we hope that you'll be able to share that with us. Thank you.
So thank you so much, David, for that elaborative time that you took to explain to us. I first want to say thank you so much, David, for it is not everybody who can be able to take their time to do what you are doing, talking to students in different campuses and colleges across all walks of life. It is not everybody who can do this. And I want to say that this year is actually one of the things that have actually, made me to, take full effort in this is is the fact that the approach we've been having for a lot of years gone is quite different, because you'll find that for us to claim for climate justice, we are used to, have and probably invite media to see whatever we're trying to do. But this year, we decided that we're going to do it quite in a different way. We understand that at the edge of climate injustice, there's a child somewhere dropping out of school because of, for example, floods. There is someone else who is lacking food because of, the weather that has, hit and kind of thing. So we tend to forget that space of that particular person who is far away from town. Someone who is a shepherd, looking after sheep that probably drowned because of the rain that has rained, heavily, and all their herds drowned. Basically, so how we arrived to the idea of to create livelihoods through our climate actions is through this, because in as much as we want our voices to be heard, there is essence of a life to go on. There is essence of someone else to thrive, to continue with either businesses or other things. And that is the idea that we thought we will be able to bring voices in different higher learning institutions. And that is how we came and joined hands together and came with East Africa Campuses and Colleges Green Network. I want to say thank you very much for everybody who has been support of this, either in material support or in any other kind of support. You have really helped us to make this a great impact. I want to quickly echo to what Coach has said, because I remember when we started this, it was just me, Coach, and a few others who thought we can check this, we can make the world hear this. A voice coming from higher learning institutions with young people who have got the zeal, can really make an impact over the same. So I want what we will do is we have I'll be able to try and share my screen. I don't know that you can be able to see my screen. Can you see my screen?
We were seeing it, but it has gone away on my side. I don't know if the others are able to see.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it back. So basically, as I try share my screen, I want to say that to try and share what we are able to do. So we have achieved quite a lot, especially on the area of mobilization. We have really been able to mobilize, different members to join us. And I understand that today is a weekend. So this is also one of the days that the students have time to relax and do other stuff, or also away from books and all kind of stuff. So I know we will have 200 plus people here, but because of being a weekend, it could also make, something else different altogether. So I want to say that when we did the pre-launch back at the University of Nairobi, we managed to have, we were only 6 campuses by then who had got a representative that came to join us. But now as we speak, we are 23 of us from different countries in East Africa, which is an achievement. 24 in total plus students in Malawi who are away from East Africa. So for me, it's a great achievement. And I think David has taken time to talk to a few. We had a call in DRC Congo, chat about the same. And we will continue to do this for, present and future generations to come. So jumping to our topic of today, we wanted to give our feedback on our progress report, what we were able to achieve today. But before I do that, I want to welcome Isaiah Kilerai, who is an climate activist in Kenya, and also someone who has been, in the forefront to, champion for climate justice and address issues that are affecting people, both in the campuses and also in the grassroots level. I want him to share. He's a Maasai coming from, most of the places that have been affected by drought and all that. He just going to speak about a rough overview, and he's also going to be able to tell us whether you can be able to see the opportunities amid the crisis that you are seeing. So Isaiah Clara, if you can hear me, just take over. Kilerai, can you hear me? Okay, if he's not there, then Coach, I think I'm going to give you this opportunity to speak as we wait for the others to join.
I'm here.
Oh, Kilerai, okay, Kilerai, go ahead. Thank you.
I'm sorry for the sound that was happening on the background. I'm glad to be here, being invited by Isa. MC Kaka is my fellow climate activist here in Kenya. My name is Isaiah. I'm a climate activist from the local community, the Maasai community here in Kenya. And also I represent the indigenous community in terms of advocating for the climate action and also the indigenous knowledge in respect to conservation and also biodiversity protection. And I'll take this chance to share the situation that my community has been experiencing, especially during this time of drought and all that. Right now, my community has been experiencing a lot, and also the climate change has been affecting all sectors. We can't say one sector. I can say the climate action has been affecting the health sector, education sector, the food sector, and at large economical sector. So allow me, okay. So like for instance, the previous days that have passed, we've been having a challenge in climate education sector whereby you find kids not getting to school at a time, and also you find kids not attending school. Like for instance, we had a visit at a school in the rural areas whereby we find a school whereby kids were facing challenges and also all that. So as we say about climate education and also mitigation and also all that, we also have to talk about adaptation and how this community perceive this, because as I talked earlier about climate education and all that, and also how it has been affecting the education sector, you found that the kids have not been going to school. They also lack the food that's supposed to sustain them in school, and also you find that the high temperatures in the areas cannot sustain the students or even the pupils to stay in their classrooms. The shortage of water cannot sustain them to stay in school. They have to move out of the school and also go find water and food and all that while in school. They also need school. Yeah, so, and also in the health sector, there have been a lot of malnutrition and all that because most of the families don't get food and also the clean food and even the clean water. Yeah. Hello, are you getting me? Are you all getting me?
Yeah, we are getting you loud and clear. Continue. Just
Yeah, so I was talking about the health sector, the education sector, and also we're gonna move to the economical sector, whereby as you know, the pastoralists and also the local community depends on the livestock for their livelihood. So you find them. The last month we had people losing their livestock, and also all that. You find someone losing around 240 livestock uh, in a month or even in 2 weeks, and that person depends on the livestock for their livelihood. So you find them the economical like sector is being affected because they have to sell those livestock to for their kids to go to school and also to cater for their family needs. So right now, the situation is worst, especially to the local communities, and they deeply perceive because they are the one that experience the impact of climate change, and also they. But one benefit and one thing that I'm happy about them is that they contribute a lot in terms of conservation, because most of these communities live around the conservation areas, and whereby they are the best stewards in terms of biodiversity protection, wildlife protection. You find them embracing the culture and wildlife, but at the same time, you find the drought affecting them most. But now the problem is that they don't know about the crisis. They only know the drought. They only know lack of water. They only know lack of food. But now, what we have been doing with the program that ESA is running, we've been steering the climate education in all the in the community level, and also the in the grassroots level, using different university students and also instilling that knowledge to them. Most of the people here coming they're coming from different communities and even from different local communities. So getting together and form an umbrella of all universities, you find them going to empower their communities in different areas and also in perspective of climate change. And also we also have yeah, I talk about education and health, and also we have economical. I've talked about that, and I just want to summarize generally the effects that the communities have been experiencing during this time, hard times of drought.
Mala said,
Pardon, pardon. Hello, hello,
the general rotating around.
hello, hello. Are you all getting me?
yes, kindly, Victor, mute your microphone, please. Victor, I think is yeah.
Yes, getting you.
Okay, I want to summarize and also share the experiences and all that the local communities has been experiencing, and also as Isa said earlier, we also want to know the role of youth and also at least share the role of youth in advocating for climate change. First of all, youth has been taking a very big role in advocacy level, because most of the time in Kenya you find youth are the focal point in advocating for climate crisis, especially during these hard times. We tweet, we post on LinkedIn, we post on Instagram, even though we don't get funds to do this, but the small amount that we get from our own income and our own thing, especially in school, we use the programs and also the platforms to do advocacy, and also the program that EACCGN has been running, the cleanups and tree plantings and all that. So I encourage every youth here to take part and also to make your voice be heard, because if we not say let's protect our planet at this time, the next generation is going to suffer and also experience the devastating impacts of climate change, and which is going to be worse than this time that we are right now. So as youth here, let us focus on advocacy and also helping our local communities, because most of these communities doesn't know. Most of them we have many challenges, not only climate change, because after climate change we also have education, because education is another problem that most of our parents didn't go to school and they don't know on how they can communicate these days. So for us youth in campuses, I appreciate so much for the umbrella that is the EACCGN that's been formed, because it involves young intellectual people that can do the advocacy in the grassroots level. So it can also help because the local communities doesn't have that knowledge that we have as youth. So I encourage everyone to amplify that voice, not only at the university level, but also in the grassroots level. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Kilerai. And maybe before you go out, I want to ask a few questions, probably for the sake of also people who are following us. I know that we come from different, areas whereby we are subjected into different kind of creation of livelihoods. You'll find that some countries, they heavily depend on agriculture for survival and all that. I know where you come from, you heavily depends on livestock. Could you kindly shed some light, because you've shared the issue of drought, for example, in area where I come from, and you have said that the issue of drought have affected the area of education, for example, for those that are maybe probably going to primary school and secondary schools and also colleges at the same time. I know that animals are what they heavily depend on in terms of maybe selling the cows for their children to go to school. And then that means when the drought comes and swipe away the animals, then it will be difficult for them to go to school. Now, because in line to today's topic or theme, we are saying we need to see opportunities in the space of climate action. So as much as we push on climate justice and try to bring reforms, as what EACCGN is doing to sensitize people in different, in different countries and different universities, we also want to see an opportunities. How do we create a life out of what we're seeing? I remember when I visited Tanzania, I met some guys who are making a briquettes out of sawdust. And when I asked them, they give me an overview of what they do to earn a living through what they're going through, And they say, like, for instance, one brigade go for 170 shillings, and they're making a livelihood amid of climate crisis. So maybe Saya Kilerai, will you tell us, amid of what you're going through in the climate injustices space, do you see any opportunities that the youth can, one, educate the community to see through and create a livelihood and bring hope for the people that are there, either the elderly or depending whichever the much group of people that lives there? Do you see some areas whereby we can be able to create a livelihood amid of what you're going through?
Okay, Mr. Kaka, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kaka, for your question. There are a lot of opportunities that we can turn the challenges from the local grassroots level, and also in our spaces as youth. We can create opportunities by doing innovations at the grassroots level, and also encourage every person to turn their opportunities or turn the challenges into opportunities. And then, apart from the inventions that we can also do and innovation at the grassroots level, we can also encourage youth to participate actively in running the projects at the community level, whereby we can also be helping the community. And then at that time, we can turn these innovations and all the projects that we can project in our areas into monetary form. And also, we can also push climate justice movement, and also we can also push the advocacy level in terms of creating the skills. Like creating the skills means that we can create the media skills or the marketing skills in terms of social media, and from that point you can get youth being employed in environmental companies to do advocacy and all that. And at that time, we can be getting youth being employed, apart from even having the knowledge, apart from even having the, not the knowledge, the education environmental background. So another point is that we can also run the projects in line with the government of Kenya, because most of the time the government look for partners and focus on the projects that youth steer in the community level. And then from that point, I can guess that the government can support where it can, so that it can run the project. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kilerai, for that elaborative and educative session that you've just given to us. I want to say thank you for that. So I will move on to, so as we move on, we will be able to be trying to shed more light, because we're also trying to give a report on the achievement that we have achieved so far. I want to say that EACCGN has brought a lot of engagement that is either intercampuses from different countries, or rather in climate justice, awareness and sensitization. We have done a lot of that. And that is why you can be able to see today we have someone from South Africa. Even though EACCGN stands for East Africa, it already shows that there is hope even for Africa to have one voice, to come together, to act, and try and spread this message of climate justice, as well as trying to create livelihoods among what students are being taught, in the line of economics and all that. So I can be able to see that we have so many people that have joined us. I can also see Victor from Uganda have joined us. And I want to say that during our launch, we had we did one match. I think we did one match for the sake of sensitization, and we were amazed, because the kind of talent that exists in the corridors of the universities can actually make things work, and gives hope that there is there's life, and there is coming generations. Because so I'm going to give Larry Dwayne, who has been actively working on the area of art and talents, also to see how they can spread the message of climate justice through what they do. Larry Dwayne has been able to sell his poetry and rap music. And the song is basically more about the talent and sensitization of the community for climate justice. He won an award, and he also presented us in a month ago in a festival in so and I think that last day I'm pretty sure there's a lot to share. You'll be able to tell us how Steven has been raised, for example, I think it's and scream. Oh, I think yes, it's like so I move to coach by
Hello,
okay,
are you
sorry,
guys able to get me?
So yeah. Sorry, coach. I think I left for network or something. So, but coach, carry on. Yeah, move on, and then I'll pick from you.
Okay, so before I continue, I'd like to echo on something that David said. David said something that was very vital, that I don't know if we all got it, that we want our grandchildren to say someday that this is the year that we started. So that is something very, very crucial, because East Africa has never had a group or a place or a forum where all East African students can speak with one voice on issues climate change. But due to the confidence, due to the wisdom of the group that we have right now, due to the courage in all of us in this meeting today, East Africa now has somewhere where we are starting. And I feel we are in the right place. So regarding our topic today, climate action can create livelihood in so many areas. Climate action, there is so much potential in climate action. Just for an example, the main problem the world is going through right now is fossil fuels. Fossil fuels have contributed to the climate change. And so, the world needs to transit to clean, renewable energy. And the scientists and researchers have said that clean, renewable energy, fossil fuels offer some advantages. For example, now, in the earlier days, if you wanted to move from point A to point B, you had to walk. But right now, there is a car that uses a fossil fuel to move you faster. So that is an advantage. But clean renewable energy has even better advantages. It has better jobs, better opportunities. Sustainability has far much better jobs. So I just wanted to highlight on a few areas that people can create income and livelihoods from climate action. And one is awareness and sensitization. Take for an example, the other day, the minister, our country's minister, and now I'm speaking as a Kenyan. Hopefully everyone from the other countries can get me. The other day, the Ministry of Water invited us for an event, an ILE event. And during the meeting, we decided to have a small conversation on climate change. We were just asking people, do you know what climate change is? Do you know what climate justice is? These are college students, and you find that most of them don't even know what climate justice is, what climate change is. So there already is an opportunity for awareness. You can have a small group, you can have an organization, you can have a CBO, you can have an NGO, or just a group that is just trying to enlighten people on what are these issues that is creating so much problems. Because as you can see, these climate change issues are even causing biodiversity. They are causing extinction. Just in 2018, the last northern white male rhino died. That was in 2018. The last northern white male rhino died in 2018. So this is there's an extinction trend that is already in happening, and people don't even know about this stuff. There are so many people that don't know that things are going extinct. If people knew these things, I'm sure most people would make better choices. If people knew what is going on, okay, for example, our some of our grandparents at home, the ignorant ones, they're just seeing drought, they're just seeing things are getting dry, but they're wondering what is happening. They don't even know what's happening. So if you can have an organization or a CBO or just a local group where you try to teach people what is climate change, what is climate justice, what are the ways to create adaptation, what are the ways to create mitigation, you can get some income, because there are so many groups that can fund such. There's also in development. In development, now this is my second point. In development, for example, you hear that people should stop using fossil fuels, people should stop using unrenewable energy, and people should move to renewable energy. So it means, pick for an example, a school or in your community, there are people who are cooking with trees. Now they should stop cooking with trees. They should start cooking with clean technologies. They should start cooking with clean technologies like biogas. So it means these technologies must be brought down to the grassroots. For example, when you tell someone, stop cooking with that firewood, we install electric cooker in your place so that you will cook with the electricity. In Kenya, electricity, 73% of electricity is gotten from renewable sources. So it means you can make a family stop cooking with firewood and they start cooking with electric cookers. It means that is already climate action, and that is you are doing that through development. You are bringing development to the grassroots. So the beauty is these solutions are there. They are already developed. You find most of them are in this. Most of these solutions are in. They are abroad. They are in these developed nations. But there are people who are ready to finance. There are people who are ready to bring these solutions down to the ground. So that is also another opportunity that you can do in climate action. You can be bringing these solutions down to the people. Like, for example, you can go to a local school. You find that in a school, let's say a school of 700, population of 700 people. You can imagine how many trees they cook with in a single day. They cook with so many trees. So you can imagine if you can have a group where you just have a group, put your objective, you say our objective is to ensure in our community, our schools do not cook with firewood. Then you connect with investors, foreign and local investors, to bring these solutions down to the ground. So that is also another area. The other area that people can create livelihoods from climate action, and it has been said here by our other friend, is innovation. Youth need to be at the forefront of innovation. We need innovation to beat pollution. We need innovation to beat fossil fuels, and the youth belongs to the freshest minds. So it is us who can create this innovation. The other thing is building. My last thought on this is building groups. For example, there's this group that Kaka. We wanted to have a group where we sensitize college students on solid waste and how to manage solid waste, how to separate solid waste as source, how to encourage college students to achieve this. And we worked with Kaka. It is a global movement. It is called Tuesday for Trash. We reached out to them. It's called Pardosa, an environmental lawyer. Kaka helped us so much, and now this initiative is based in Kenya. They now have a brand in Kenya, where I am the Kenyan lead, and now you find that through this we can have some investors coming in to help us sensitize college students. So I think there's so much to do in the climate action to help develop the community, to help develop the community, and to help develop ourselves. We must not forget about ourselves while we are fighting for the community. Find a space where you can enter into. You cannot be in everywhere. You cannot be in advocacy. You cannot be in development. You cannot be in all of these things. Just find a specific place where you can get in, where you can help the community while also helping yourself. Thank you. And if anyone has a question, they can raise it to me. Thank you, Kaka, for the opportunity.
Absolutely amazing, Coach. That is just so good of you to take us through such. And I hope as you go on, you can be able to be checking on our screens. We're trying to display who we are, what we do, our vision statement, our mission statement. Just be checking on. Probably after this, you can be able to share the slides also on your far end. And I still want to thank everybody who is joining. I know people from Malawi, you come from a hardship area where electricity is a problem, but at least you're making efforts to join us here. So if anyone has a question that they want to direct to ask to Coach, you can just raise it. And if you can just lift your hands, I can see wherever you are, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to ask him a question. I know he has mentioned quite a lot, so that we can be able to proceed. Anyone who wish to ask anything to Jude? And I also wish to ask our members, Ngasike, please, if you could just mute your microphone, please, because we are getting a lot of background interaction. Thank you. Kindly, I can see David Cole. You have a question? Just go ahead and ask Coach. Thank you.
I have something to show which I think is really, really enlightening, following from what he said. I've been working with a young youth leader called Morris in a community area in Kenya called Matare. And they have, in a very short space of time, come together and created and made a oil press themselves out of materials that have been discarded. And they've created an industry and enterprise for themselves with making lip balm out of that, and really brought together community along there. And we have basically helped them by refusing to fund, which is really an interesting idea. Because what happens when that happens is that you realize there are always opportunities and there are always resources which can be used, which is what they did. And actually what then happens is people come together, and that's really important. Now, skipping forward to some of the things that the gentleman before just mentioned, and I'm going to try and share a screen on this, is what happened when you talk of technology. The basic rule to remember is a technology that your community cannot fix if it goes wrong, then it won't be able to afford it. And it's very important to bear that in mind. So how do we deal with something like the cooking, where we cut down trees, and what goes on? So I'm just going to share a screen of a clip. And this is important to share with you. It's only a couple of minutes long. And it's important to share with you because this is not us coming up with it. This was brought to our attention by that community when we helped them to get access to the internet. And they came back and they said, hey, how about this? So have a look at this in thinking about technology and what you as students in all these things that you study can bring along.
This video, we use the stand with this type of material. This is your standard greenhouse material. White, kind of milky, really didn't give us enough solar throughput to do anything valuable. I have a clear piece of vinyl up there that's stretched. It's about a 5-foot diameter. I can't exactly fill it all the way because the weight sags down, but you can get a nice 30-inch diameter aqua lens. So now that the water's settled down, the focal point, the optimal focal point is somewhere in the middle, and you can see that it's got a wide pattern on the ground. A lot of people think that you have to have a round material in order to get a round effect. You don't have to do that. This is square, and the water automatically makes a round shape. The outer edges really don't matter. What matters is the curve that you get there. This is very close to a true parabola. So here is our broad focal point. When we come down right here, this is happening entirely just with water draped in a plastic. I'm your host, Dan Rojas. Thank you for watching and enjoy our videos.
So I'm going to stop sharing and just finish up by saying, if you can use that to do that, you can create a steam engine. If you create a steam engine, you can create mechanical power, you can create electrical power. You can do all that with materials that are around. And when the previous person was talking about innovation, there are so much in terms of resources which are readily available to you. If you shine that onto a metal plate, thick enough metal plate, you will be able to take that and cook from it for hours. And you will be able to have an alternative towards cooking in communities that have no access to electrical grid. That does not involve cutting down trees, but involves the thing that they don't know what they can do with because there's so much of it, the sun. And those are the kind of approaches, what we call an emergent economics, a way in which livelihoods can be created. And if you create devices like that and actually go on through, you have an industry. And you have an industry that comes indigenous to your heritage from being in Africa. And you bring your stories for all your long heritage along with you. And that's the emergence that we see and what we want to be able to really encourage. And where the more you guys can start thinking about it and embrace it, the greater you'll find your own potentials. So I just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you so much, David. But I have a question. Is that a convex lens that is transforming sun energy to is that what I saw?
Yes, the plastic sheet with water on it creates a convex lens. So it creates a magnifying glass. But you don't even need to do that because you've got enough sun that if you have a curved piece of metal, that will reflect back enough. So there are lots of ways in which you can actually create the same effect. And with that, and there's another thing that was brought out, I dropped into one of the comments along, is a very simple way. For example, if you look at what has been happening, areas that have been flooded where the water supplies and water systems have been corrupted, very simple way to sanitize water is to leave it out in the sun for 6 hours. And things like that are readily available. And when you work within your courses and your education, you learn about these things. This is about carrying them on in a practical way to create livelihoods where communities you listen to about what they need. And actually you can then bring them along and you can bring it together with a huge long heritage. And innovations are not all just science. They are most importantly about empowering ourselves to see ourselves as dignified people. And that takes also the stories of our heritage, the stories of our culture along with it. So we mustn't think of innovations as just being about science. It is much more important than just that. Because what you need to do is to reach back out. When Richard and I, when we were writing our book, The Unsustainable Truth, we reached back to 387 AD in order to be able to understand what actually being good means. And that's in a context where we've both been brought up within a very much a kind of European context. And we went back to the European religions, to the theology prevalent of that time. And for yourselves, you have your own cultures and your own stories. And if you go far back enough, they all talk about how we are partners with our planet, with the creation around us. And we mustn't forget that part, that in our own heritage, we have the stories that will help us to educate everyone else around us.
Nice. Wow, this is great. But still maybe have also a question still about the same concern. If you look at Africa, and let me use an example of Kenya because that is where I fly from. We have, you'll find that, for example, in Malawi, I know that there are issues with power and all that, but where I come from, for example, in Kajiado County, you'll find that majority of the people are not, the area is not, has not been supplied with electricity, for instance. So what we do, many people have moved to solar energy. In relations to what we just shared, do you think solar energy is a new modern way of trying to, create green energy, try to do away with maybe things like fossil fuels that will pollute our planet, and will you also advise people to go for solar? Because I think we have sufficient sun, but only I don't know the limitations of how or what kind of power does the solar panels can generate in that essence.
Solar panels, the photovoltaic solar panels, have a big problem for a lot of communities in Africa. They're very expensive, and you can't fix them if they go wrong. So what that does is it traps you into an economics that's actually not natural to where you are and doesn't necessarily help along. So it offers a solution in part. It's a solution because it recognizes that there is plenty of sun. So photovoltaic panels don't work very well when it gets very hot. But the kind of direct power from the sun, like the one that the community at Matari brought to us, rather than we show them, they were the one that came to us. And again, they looked because we said, no, we're not supporting any photovoltaic panels because they can't afford to fix it when it goes wrong. They end up looking along and finding out how you actually use power from the sun. So absolutely. So solar energy from the sun is really powerful, but there are more than one ways to benefit from that. So for example, sterilizing chicken feces, which is what they also do in order to put them into the ponds to feed the fish and so on, is that they need to heat it up to 80 degrees. You can burn something to do that, or you just leave it on a hot metal plate out in the sun, and that will do it. There are all kinds of things like that that uses solar, uses the sun. But where you can really show the world is that you can access genuinely renewable energy without being tied to having to have all the money to be able to afford it, because the rich world is telling you, you should buy solar panels from us. You can actually go back and say, we need solutions that actually work for us, even for communities that have absolutely no money. And when you do that, you are allowed to create an entirely new economics, one that the world is struggling to try and discover, because money has led the world into using resources as if they are something that is just free for us to use. Not having money allows you to rediscover that essential economics of how we really build stronger and richer communities, which is what is meant to be about. So definitely the sun, photovoltaics, it would be useful in an office building somewhere in the middle of a city, for community somewhere, for some of the places, for example, in Malawi, where we were talking about, where the power generation has collapsed, and this will happen over and over again. They may or may not help because they all need some form of a grid, or if you're very local, and there's a lot of water and electricity generally does not mix. So it may not be that great in that sense, but there's a balance in between that you can have, we can use. And there's a lot. So I have a power pack for charging my phone, and they put a nice little bit of solar panel on it to say, oh, you can charge it from the sun, except it takes about 30 days to charge that thing from the sun. So a lot of the solutions sold to you are not really fit for the purpose.
All right. Did you just say 30 days?
30 days, yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, so thank you so much, David, for that. I can see we have been joined by Larry Dwayne, who is an artist. I mentioned earlier on that he is an artist, because today's if I go back to the theme for today's.
Yes, nimepewa huko Vet Lab.
Hilda Candy, kindly mute your mic. Thank you. So we are trying to see the possible opportunities available through climate action as whatever we are doing or whatever we are doing at EACCGN or in different levels of studies. We also want to see a livelihood on what we are doing. So we want to hear from Larry what he has been able to do. I mentioned earlier that he's a rapper who writes poem and rap about climate justice, and he sensitizes communities. In fact, recently I met Larry at PDF Festival, that is People's Dialogue Festival, that normally held annually. And I think Mtasafi was recognized for his actions, especially on the sensitization part of Nairobi River that was polluted for a couple of years. The government has never had solution, but it is so amazing that someone like Larry came with the solution. And I think recently the CS for Environment here in Kenya, they went there. I think they visited Korogosho and other areas. And I know Larry has got all the kind of stories to share. So Larry, if you can hear me, just take over. Kindly brief us about what you do in the climate action arena agenda, and also what is your role at EACCGN. I know that you have been so much impactful at EACCGN. And also I know you have introduced the whole idea of art at this network. And I'm pretty sure you are so much composed. So you're free to share your sentiment. If you have got slides, you can as well share. I know you have a lot. Go on, Larry. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, MC. Thank you so much for having me here. It is a great opportunity, definitely, to be around like-minded individuals who are in the same course of action, which is climate action. And, creating space even for art to play a part in this, climate emergency. So for me, it's always been a pleasure being part of EACCGN. And I always feel like this community has a lot of in-depth information and a lot of research that is really vital in terms of even climate action, because information is key when you're even trying to sort out any issue, regardless if it's climate action or social awareness. So thank you so much for giving arts a seat on the table. We really appreciate. So in terms of arts, I believe it really does play a great role in awareness creation and even getting action, because arts definitely mostly plays a big role in terms of disseminating information into the community and decoding that information, because you find that matters of climate are really complex. And when you're working with informal settlements such as Kibera, you find that most of the locals don't really understand these complex definitions and discussions on climate action. So what we do as artists is simply to break down and simplify this information so that the local mwananchi or local citizen can just understand it in the simplest way without really having to, do further research, of which they'll have to do it online. And that's another story on access to internet and access to this type of machinery. So what we do is just summarize all this data, all this information in terms of what's going on. Then we try to have a solution at the same time in our music, so that by the time they are done listening to a song, they know exactly what they are supposed to do. If they were using charcoal, if they were cutting trees for firewood, they know that that's wrong and they need to at least adapt another means of cooking energy which are readily available currently in the market, recognizing that the green economy is really taking on, the current status of even matching or transitioning into green energy. So with this EACCGN, I again say that it is a really big pleasure to be part of it and part of this network, where we are able to reach multiple people from the society, from students, considering also these students also are working or taking internships in other institutions. So with this network, I believe we are able to reach like a good number of the current and the next generation to come, which is really key. And also, I believe with EACCGN, we are able to we are at least a step closer to adding climate change into the curriculum. And I hope, MC Kaka, that will be possible soon. I pray that it comes to life, because I think that is the next step we really need to go to. And just to mention that I am also a member of an organization called TASAF Initiative. Based in Kibera. We do waste management as our way for also climate action, because we really concentrate on depleting landfills, which you all are aware that landfills also emit methane, which is not good for the atmosphere. So as Mtasafi, we decided to undertake waste management so that we can redirect and just instill a culture of responsible solid waste disposal into the people of the community by offering them garbage collection services, at the same time sensitizing them on importance of waste segregation and waste repurposing of waste in their small spaces at home that they can adapt, which we have been able to do so by educating them on how to make compost from organic manure. Then we install like a spiral garden. Then they are able to apply the same on that. After 6 months, they are able to use their manure. And we also do this through arts in terms of paintings and mostly musically, because we are a team that has a lot of musicians. And we use our social media as well, even created a WhatsApp group for the community to share this information. We have another group for waste pickers around Kibera, where we are able to share these skills that we learn from even these exhibitions that Kaka has mentioned. We met. So we network for the betterment of our community. When we get these links, we also share with them so that they can be able to be on the same page as us, and at least on the same course of action, with the same energy and right mindset, with the right information. And all this, the only easy way is to, channel it through music. And, one thing about music, and with music, you are always able to connect with someone emotionally. And when someone listens to a song, let's say a love song, they feel like they get like a vibration of just love around, and you start to think about someone you love. It's the same thing about music. So when someone listens to the music and you're trying to tell them like it's time to reuse, it's time to reduce, it's time to recycle, when you're singing all these songs, I feel like subconsciously they are able to relate, like picture themselves and just put themselves on a rate meter and rate themselves on how they have been living. And there's a certain song I did called Our Environment in Swahili, Mazingira Yetu, that was able to impact the community on a really good note. And guys really took charge in terms of even avoiding to throw waste in the river, which was really rampant, and it had gone wild. And when we were doing the Nairobi River restoration in 2019, we were able to engage with the community at a deeper level, created some rapport. And while we did the video, we also engaged the whole community, and they were able to even learn during and after the video was released. And I believe music has mysterious ways of changing people's mindsets and behavior and attitude towards the environment. The music, even with its melody, it reconnects the relationship of individuals with nature, where they are able again to just check on themselves and just see how their lives are. And one question is they should always ask themselves if they are living a sustainable life. And if not, you need to switch And if yes, then you need to, put in more work and just in research on what else, you can do in terms of products you should ban. I have a song called Say No to Single-Use Plastics that is in my upcoming EP that I am about to release. I'm just trying to garner for more support so that I can organize a sustainable music festival and engage green vendors who are repurposing waste, either from waste to art, then organic manure. I'll have these guys set up stands so that they can exhibit, and those who are attending the show will be able to network with these guys, and they can be able to switch on some products that they are reusing at home and to a more sustainable one. There are some guys I met using Moringa to make a lot of really amazing art. Guys who are using hyacinth for fuel, and flexi biogas who are also using organic waste to power biodigesters to produce gas, which is clean gas. And all these are great ideas. And when you create such a network and put all these people in one area and have guys come enjoy the music at the same time, learn on how they can make their lives more sustainable, enjoying music, played by a live band, I think it will go a long way, and it will really instill like some sense of responsibility to the people and towards the environment. I don't know, maybe if you have any questions, you can just shoot. But that's so far, I feel like the music has been really impactful, and we really need to make more music, even adapt more art, like theatricals. We've done theatricals as Mtasafi, just trying to sensitize the community on best practices in terms of their lifestyle, and just how to be more responsible, and how to be a conservationist through mentorship programs at our offices. And I feel like slowly by slowly, section by section in Kibera, we will be able to at least inspire the community on being better people or humans on planet. Yeah, I don't know. MC Kaka, are there any questions? Maybe.
Thank you, Larry. I just want to welcome questions, but maybe before anybody else asks a question, I can see time is actually running. I want to ask you, because one of the biggest inspiration that we have under EACCGN and what Rethinking Choices has taken time to take us through the educational part of it is there is always actualization, and we can actually need to do a bigger thing on our own self. We can always do bigger things on our own self by only turning the resources that we see around to be things that help the communities around us. If you look around, for example, they say that Africa is the leading in raw materials, for example. If you look, for example, let's mute kindly. If you look, for example, this drug that is used to manufacture quinine for malaria, the greatest raw material is coming from Africa. For those of you who know that, so major things that are processed even in the international and in Western world, all these resources are coming from Africa. So then that means we should be able to take advantage of such resources that are available, and see how on the process of protecting nature we can be able to use them to make something meaningful. To create sense of ownership into communities, to take these stories, because I believe that stories are the one that makes the world revolve in every setup of the community, depending on how we come from, where you come from. Stories are what makes, lives meaningful in that essence. And what David have said, he has said that the reason why they took time to go back to the centuries when they were writing their book, Unsustainable Truth, is because they wanted to find how the world looked like before technology came, before power comes, before internet come. How were people surviving then before? Because life existed, So
just to add on that, actually,
I need to ask you. I know you good in art, and you have done this before. I have seen you do a lot of paintings. It's something that is done even when you are doing a Nairobi River sensitization. There was a lot of artwork that people are doing. Does that artwork pays you? Does it bring money? Like, is it your own talent? Is your skill? Does it pay you as a way of, promoting climate justice and also try to make livelihoods across that place? And probably you also tell us, because you represented EACCGN at NAM Festival in Kisumu. How was the reflection? I can see you also using talent there to sensitize the lake Victoria, that they are telling us there are species of fish that are almost dying because of plastic that are being discharged to the river. So kindly ask that, and then if anybody has a question, you can directly ask.
Oh yeah, sure. I believe conservation can be like an earning avenue for us environmentalists, because you find that we have committed our lives into climate activism and advocacy, and you can never really put it aside like it's a side hobby or a side job, because we have the climate emergency. It's an emergency, so we really need to be hands on deck and literally focused on how to mitigate and just transition this on a different trajectory, so that we have a better ecosystem and restore it, if not fully, at least 80 or 90% of what was. And through this advocacy, I believe that there are fundings that are available for climate activists, and it's to always be aware with the applications online, and even through the different ministries and departments under the Ministry of Environment, where the government has allocated a lot of funds for even awareness creation for people like us who are artists. So we just really need to know on how to tap into these forms of funding and grants, among other organizations, that is NGOs, which are also have funding on the same. And with us, in terms of the artwork, during exhibitions, we can always be able to display them, like West to Art, West to Fashion. Like the other day, we partnered with a certain organization called Watchers Mtasafi, and a watcher were making diaries from recycled Ankara. And they made sales each and every day for the duration of the festival. They were able to make sales, because it's all about also quality, what you are presenting to people. Is it worth it? And just in terms of branding, we just really need to be perfect on that. As much as it's waste to art or recycled, it also needs to look good, that is. And I believe there's all types of funding. We just need to know how to tap into those networks and those forms, and know how to brand ourselves, as much as we are upcycling, recycling, and such.
Right, absolutely amazing. Anybody with a question that they would like to ask Larry Dwayne before I cross fingers and move on? If any, just lift your hands, and then I'm going to give you an opportunity to share. And I want to say thank you so much. I can see there are so many people turning out to show up on the meeting. This is so good. So if you don't have anyone,
Kaka.
yes.
Yeah,
yes,
I want
yes.
to add that
yes.
During the NAM festival, even with the art, that was the county government also came in through other donors, international donors, and we were able to get stipends from coming up with the Waste to Art. That is the relief type of art that we came up with, which was like a fisherman. In Luo, we call them Jalupo. So we were able to come with like a silhouette type of art, where we were creating an impression of a fisherman, like in the lake, and the boat is filled with plastic bottles that the fisherman encounters while they are casting their net. All they find is plastic, and these such things were public. It was a public installation, that is, or rather, and the community were able to, interact with the art, and they were wondering like why did these guys bring us waste in the middle of the city? But it's like, organized so good that, it also provoked them to ask questions like, oh, so what does this mean? It looks good. It's an art. It's a fisherman also. And, it tends to provoke questions out of residents, and they are able to answer them themselves, and they end up adapting a solution in terms of even responsible disposal of the same plastic, because we were able to do sensitization during the installation, and we were telling them the fisherman is fishing plastic bottles. And, we were just telling them while they visit the lake, they need to be responsible, how they are disposing of like any drinks they have or any takeaways they take close to the lake. They need to dispose it off responsibly, and urging all those resorts that are close to the lake to have more bins in place so that people who visit those sites can be able to practice this responsible disposal. And during a seminar, I was a panelist, and I was able to share the context of rethinking choices, where, when we really need to take a step back and just look at how and who our producers are, and just look at, what we are doing, what part we are playing in the ecosystem. And is it the negative side or the positive side? Because rethinking choices also calls for transformational ownership that I was able to share, in being inspired by, even David, who is, I believe, is current, and MC Kaka included, with the whole group at Rethinking Choices. And people were really amazed by such a narrative. And I believe with the Rethinking Choices, I think we should do like a more awareness creation on that, so that, people can understand, even future investors can know where to invest in, which is in the green economy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Larry. That is a very, very informative discussion. And I hope as we even narrow down our activities to the launch that we're going to have, we are aiming to bring all sorts of people on board so that they can be able to know that we've got a new approach for a way of climate justice. And as we had discussions, and I think, David, if it is possible, you can be sharing the Google Docs that we are supposed to sign on. I think these people are much enough for them to do this. If you can just do that one in the chat side, we can all visit the chat side. There is that Google form that we are supposed to sign. Just sign, and because we are saying that the approach for this year, way of climate mitigation and adaptation that we want to do on all kind of climate justice, is through transformational ownership. We are saying that with coal, gas, and oil, we cannot be able to manage the issue of the planet being destroyed. So check on the chat. David has just dropped a Google Docs. If you click on that Google Docs, it is going to take you direct to the place we are going to fill your information. Whichever country you come from, you specify, and also what kind of resources are you going to offer us to be able to combat the issue of climate injustices. Is it your knowledge on tech? Is it your knowledge on, hearing your voice? Is it your idea on what you're doing now, so that you can be able to prevent, this planet from becoming, more depleted, and all kind of thing. As we continue like that, I'm expecting to get some to be able to give us a highlight for us how things look like, and all the dates that we're going to set for event. We mentioned that we're going to do this one at the State University. It should be probably the beginning of May, I guess, but I think Sam is going to give us the way to. I'm going also to recognize other people that are joining us on board. We have Camilius from Tanzania. He has got an organization and a student startup that will share later on who our partners are, and majority are the youth who are sharing successful stories. This is Ecobana. I know when I mention Ecobana, most of you know Ecobana in Africa. This is a group that they have used tech innovation to come up with sanitary pads that are they want, I'm not sure about the voice, if the voice can be able to reach you. Yeah, so we are happy to have such people on board. And Paul, I think Paul is here with us from Ecobana, representing Ecobana. I'm not sure that he's here. I can just check whether he has joined us. I was expecting him also to say something, but it's fine. I think he will be joining us before the time ends. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that the future is bright, because even the Bible says that talents will make you sit before kings. And this is a group that have transformed Africa, not only East Africa, not Kenya, not any other country, although they're coming from Kenya. They have transformed thinking of different sector and all kind of thing. And this is the kind of thinking we want to have in before this year ends. We are saying that 2023 is a year to stop climate change, and we are going to do with our talents. We're going to do with our art. We're going to do with our know-how and all sorts of things. I can also see that Neville has joined us, and I can also see Sam Njoroge, who is the founder and CEO for Roads Tours. This is great to have you here. We have Charles Keter, who is the founder of Transfer Organization. They are doing a lot in Nandi County. Give a chance to see something to tell us what the launch will look like. And I encourage us still to visit the chat session, check on what David is sharing on the chat, try sign up, and we're going to have this. So Neville, do you have something to say? All right. I give to Charles Keter, who is the founder. All right. Okay, you're there? All right. Carry on.
So sorry, I'm on transit. So thanks for the opportunity, and it's great to hear the minds are thinking. And I hope maybe we can get in touch along the way, and we can make our earth a better place. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Neville. I know we have interacted with you in March for Planet, another entity. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want to give to Charles Keter. I know he has something to say and tell the youth. Charles, if you can hear me, say something. Okay, I will give to, okay, Njoroge Sam, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, and good evening, everyone, or good morning from wherever you are. My name is Samuel Njoroge, the founding director for Roads Tours. We are a company that does sustainable tourism. So meaning that we are responsible especially to environment, because if we do not mitigate the climate effects, then it means our business cannot thrive, because wildlife, bird life, aqua life, all belongs to the environment. And therefore, even us as human beings, we belong to the environment. And therefore, we must take responsibility. And so moving forward, I want to pledge my support to the campuses and university students, because what you are doing a great thing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sam, for that opportunity. And we hope so that you're also going to see Road Tours coming to us through the launch, because for us, we believe that everyone can act something. He can do something to contribute to, the nature of our, on the climate justice platform. So I have Tumesi from DRC. I just want to tell him to say hello, because it's also impactful. We are having EACCGN in DRC, and they are doing well. Tumesi, could you say hello?
Yes, hello, good evening, everybody. I'm happy to be among you. I was following every other session. It was very interesting. Yeah, I greet everybody, and I'm really happy and proud of you guys for the great job that you are doing. Thank you, Mr. Kaka.
Thank you so much. We also have Precious from Malawi. Could you say something kindly?
Good evening, you all. I'm excited to be here, and I'm very grateful for the great work that you are doing as EACCGN, and I'm also learning a lot. Thank you.
Larry, kindly mute. Thank you. Precious, you done?
Yes, I'm done.
Larry, kindly let's mute unless you are giving. I still sensitize and put more and more on the same. Check on the chat. It will be more meaningful for us to sign more and more for, to take these stories to COP even 28 to say that this is our format and way of making climate or rather our planet a better place to live in, and this is the approach we have. So let's continue having an interaction session, and I want quickly to go through my screen for those who can be able to see as I wait for probably Tiffany and Sam also to join us in a few. So I think we have, according to the stories we have had, starting from Kilerai from Catholic University of East Africa, whatever you shared, you've also heard from Kwach, you've heard from Larry Dwayne, who have explained some of the successful stories that we were able to do. I started by saying that when we began, we were only joined by, we had five universities when we were doing the launch at the University of Nairobi, but then this is what it looked like back then. And I want to tell you that we have really improved in terms of sensitization, and these stories are happening now, not only in East Africa, but all over Africa. So the pre-launch was done on 25th, 29th of October, 2022. That is last year at the University of Nairobi Faculty of Law. And we are only represented by 5 universities in Kenya. And now I'm happy to announce that we have got 23 higher learning institutions. That is 20 universities and 3 colleges, all the same. And actually we have Victor from Makerere University in Uganda. I'm not sure whether he's here, but we are expecting him to say something as well on the same. So we are defined. I'm pretty sure some of you have reached this document and it has come to your desk about who we are. And then we just say that we are an SDG student-centered campaign that is based on East Africa. And our network aims to have a collective voice in climate justice within universities' corridors. And we also say that it's also going to help to bring restoration and actionable plan in exercises, for example, like what is happening in Tanzania, like the Sea World. Some of you have heard about animals that are running to extinction because they're lacking people no longer care. Some of you know that, like, for example, black rhino no longer exists. We only used to have one, but it's no longer there. So we are protecting biodiversity by all area. So that is it. And I want to say that we have got a bigger picture of how things will look like. And I hope this is going to show us the progress on what exactly we want to look like on the launch of the same. So we have a mission and vision statement on what we are, and for you, I've been sharing this on screen so you can be able to see what exactly we are. We're saying that we are a world whereby climate justice is a reality for all, and where the impacts of climate change are mitigated and adapted in a way that supports the well-being of people and the planet. So we are working towards a future where we have shifted to a sustainable and equitable economy that prioritizes the needs for communities and the planet over profit. Yeah, so I was having a conversation with David, and he was telling me that in a way, COP is turning out to be a trade fair in one way or another. So he no longer cares whether the Freddy in Malawi has displaced 100,000 people, or whether the drought in Kajiado has killed 1 million animals, or whether tornado in India has left families, and that kind of thing. They no longer care. But if we have sense of ownership on a family setup, on our back in the villages where we come from, we can always be a sense of inspirational. We also have a mission statement that states that to empower and mobilize communities and students to take action on climate change and advocate for their rights to a safer and healthier environment. That is our mission statement. I know this is a detailed document, but we're going to share slides later on the platform. And then we also have the bigger picture, what things look like, and we have got about 5 objectives on what we intend to do. And because I know we also have, we have got all manner of people here with us, all techniques, people who are good in IT, people who are good in physics. All these things, you are going to see them during the launch. We are going to make this launch look like kind of a show, whereby we are going to have, for example, if someone coming from the lakeside, they're going to show us an exhibit of things that are happening in the lake shore or lake region. And we're also going to lift this one to be able to be on the webinar, whereby we are going to have the East Africa countries following online for those that are not able to join us on the launch. And progressively, we have hope that this is going to impact, communities back in the villages. It is going to bring a sense of hope. If you look at number 1 as one of our bigger picture objective is that we are saying we aim to bring youth groups, startups, civil societies, and government on board to share stories on transformational ownership to stop climate change. And then another one, we are saying that we aim to create a sense of ownership in society, where we will help communities to see the real resources around them. A good example is culture. Culture, for example, the Maasai culture. It is a culture that nearly everyone in the world wants to be part of it, like the beads, the red ochre, the hair, like the Masai Moran. We all know that kind of thing. If we go back to that kind of lifestyle and try and see resources available, we will be able to create livelihoods in one way or another. So I'm not sure whether Sam has joined us. He should be able to tell us how dates look like. But probably as I look for Sam to join us, or Tiffany, we have someone called Keter, and I'm not sure whether you can be able to hear me, who is the founder of Transfer Organization. Charles, are you there? I wouldn't want to skip you without saying something, because I also know the impact of you have and you've done so far over the same. If you're there, just say something. Right, then that's fine. I think he's muted or something. I have, I'm not sure the rest, who they are, but yeah, so we'll wrap up. I don't know, I can't see some, but basically to say what this is, we are saying that early May, we're going to have a launch, although this is a conversation that is going to go more on the same. And we will wrap these stories in videos. We are going to have videos shared across. We are collecting this with the help of Rethinking Choices. That is Richard and David. They're helping us in this. And we also have other people on board that are supporting us. I can just maybe quickly share the list of our partners also. It's good for you to know who they are. So very quickly, I will do this slide and yeah, so we have this team. I hope it's available and on your screen. Let's see, we have Environmental Club of University of Nairobi, that the president is Coach. Of course, we have MKU, we have Takasafi, we have KU Environmental Club, we have Team Environment Kenya, we have Rethinking Choices, we have March for Planet, also part of us. We have Ikobana, we have PACJA. PACJA is Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance, and we don't have time. Actually, we expected someone like Sheila to represent this. We don't have time in this sense. So I'm grateful for this, and I want to say we will continue to talk on the same, and tell you what exactly things are going to look like, because you're supposed to end at exactly 10, and I see you only have 9 minutes to go. I just want to say thank you for your patience. This is some of the stories that we have done so far. If you look at the screens, we have a full web bridge that is connected in Uganda. For example, in Makerere University, we have a whole research center. You can see on that poster. We have done Build Africa, Build a Youth, Build Africa. That is when we had all these people. You can be able to see Elijah Tipanko, who is the director for Developing Leaders, ORG, and a few others. Even Precious, I think Precious is there, and is part of us here. So it has been a very successful stories that we have lifted them up, and we hope they're going to bring a life in one way or another. So I want to say thank you very much, and I will give Collins Manyasi. Is he here? Collins, are you there? Probably not. Maybe has left. So I can see Boniface Minor. That's nice of you. I don't know who that is. Minor, could you say hi?
Wakili, unasema umenisahau, but it's okay. So Boniface Minor from Ecovista. I hope you remember now.
Okay. When I'm sorry, I think we're having I don't know. Being one who is controlling.
Don't worry,
okay, you'll forgive me for that.
Yeah, it's okay. Still,
yeah,
I'm waiting for that. Yeah, I'm still waiting for that meeting that you promised. You said that you wanted to talk to us, because I can see there's an area of interest that Ecovista will be interested to be part of, because the kind of work that you're doing and the line of work that Ecovista the Ecovista that are doing, I see there's somewhere we can do a partnership on. But all in all, I'm grateful for the meeting, and I look forward for more engagement and such meetings. Nihayo too.
Thank you so much, Boni. Boniface, I missed Boni. I think you should use your mail to be like Boni.
I know. That's why I had to put my whole names there.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean this, but anyway, I think now we have Alina Faye Kachipanda. Could you say something to say hi to us? You know who you are? Probably from Malawi, I guess. Alina Faye Kachipanda. Could you say something?
Good evening.
Hilda Kandi.
I'm Alina Faye Kachipanda, a student from the University of Livingstonia. Thank you.
The University of Livingstonia is from Malawi. Yeah, Malawi is the only country in Africa that has got unique names. The one Precious can confirm. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kachipanda. That's great. Hilda Kandi, could you say hi to us?
Hi. I'm Hilda Kirumi. I'm from the University of Nairobi. Currently, I'm in my final year doing veterinary medicine. I really like the work you guys are doing. We came up with the organization called the Wildlife Kenya, where we are also focusing on talks concerning climate change and wildlife. And I think it's a very good initiative. Keep up, guys. Maybe we look forward for future partnerships. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Candy. That's great. You can follow up with either of the Google Docs. They have got information all the same. But I'm not sure. Are you a member of the group? But if you're not all the same, you can as well. Are you in EACCGN WhatsApp chat?
Oh, I'm not in there. I'm a member of the group, but I've provided my number on the chat. Maybe you guys can add me in.
Yeah, we don't have your number. That's the problem. So
I've provided my number on the chat box.
Okay, you'll be given. Okay, anyway, but you can still as well sign for what David is sharing. You can always share the data. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. All right.
We have Kevin Amukoye. Say something, say hi. Okay, maybe.
This is Kevin from the University of Nairobi, a student of journalism and media, and I'm just impressed with what you guys are doing. It's my first time to join you, so I hope to learn more and engage more with you. But I'm not also in the group, so I'll provide my number so that I'm added to the group, and we shall continue coordinating together and maybe see a better future for the environment and climate change and issues to do with global warming. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. You're welcome. And I think I can also be able to try, maybe share my numbers on the chat, and probably Coach could also wrap up this one. I'm not sure that's something I'm left. Transfer organization should be Charles Keter, but I'm not sure that he's getting us. I think he has. Kelvin Amukoye, hi.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Okay, this is Kevin. Hello, this is Kevin from.
Yeah, go on. We hear you. We lost you. Kamama.
This is Kevin from the University of Nairobi. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're breaking, Kevin. Wakili. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, continue. We can get you.
Hello, we are getting you.
This is Colem Ruto, Activista Baringo. I'm joining you guys for the first time, and I'm really impressed with the work you're doing. I believe I come from a community where there's a climate change has affected so much. I don't be a part of the TRT. And but Wakili, I think it's a good move. We can just work together.
Absolutely, Ruto.
Thank you so much, and keep in touch, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so I think we will wrap up here, and we want to make it something unique because we want to have a different approach as we go towards the launch. We hopefully that you're also going to have to bring different stakeholders, including the government. I think the government should also just come and see this kind of effort that these young people are putting on this. We hope to have the CS for environment also on the same place. But we need to provide also our email on the chat so that in case of any concern or anything you would like to know from us, we will be able to channel also to the EACCGN. I think, Coach, if you can just share the email for the network kindly, so that you can be able to get what exactly looks like. But I have also shared my number for those who have seen it. It's still on my box, on my chat. I've still shared it, so feel free to reach out to me so that we can be able to add you to the group and make this one a collective responsibility to all of us. So without further ado, I'm going to end this one with a lot of thanks. And thank you so much for a lot of mobilization that you guys have done. Today, the turnout was amazing. And we hope that, as David had said, that somehow, somewhere, our great-grandchildren are going to say, today I'm eating a fruit because someone took effort of planting a tree orchard. Someone probably will say, today I have a shade because someone labored to have this tree survive. And that is the kind of the conversation we want to have. We don't want to have a world whereby, as our president put it, I don't have the luxury, to say I don't care. So we want to have a collective responsibility. I've been telling the young people outside there that you can always do something where you are and with what you have to make a place better than you found it. And I want to say thank you very much. I know it's almost sleeping time here in Kenya and probably in that place in East Africa. I want to say thank you very much. And we wish to have another engagement soon as possible. If you have something that you think you can showcase, because I think we are going to be live on YouTube. We are also going to be live on Facebook. We'll be also on Instagram during the launch. So we are going to, project all your activities to ensure that your talents count. So kindly feel free to reach out to me on the phone I've shared. You can as well reach to Tiffany, or you can check on Twitter at EACCGN. Just like that. On Twitter, our account is at EACCGN, and our chat box is open. You can as well chat through there. Facebook the same, Instagram the same. Just check what you have done so far. I'm pretty sure stories that are there are going to inspire you so much. And I also want to say thank you just for everyone. Thank you for David for taking a lot of time, all resources and all kind of thing to talk to students across different places. And I want to say we are grateful, and together we are going to win this war. So thank you so much. And with this, I'm going to end this by saying good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Mr. Kaka. Good night to you too.
Good night, everyone from East Africa.
Good night.
Thank you.